What's up, boys? Callsign Grimey here. When I first got into DCS about 3 going on 4 years ago, my very first module I purchased was the AV-AP Harrier. And I know you're thinking, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, sure, it's not as sexy as the F-16 or as multi-role capable as the F-18, or hell, it doesn't even carry as much ordnance as the A-10, but the Harrier is special to me in 2 ways. First, it was the aircraft I saw on the airfields while serving in the Marine Corps. So it brought back that nostalgia feeling of my service time, being on the airfield, smelling the jet fuel out there. Secondly, it's such a unique aircraft. I mean, the fact that you can take off and land vertically, take off from afar, or even the dirt road is unlike any other aircraft in DCS. That said, it's not an easy aircraft to learn and master. Hell, I've been flying it for years now and I still suck at VTOL landings. It's stupidly loud, it's not as slow as the A-10, but it's nowhere near as fast as other jets. Its avionics systems for sure shows its age. You have to be very hands-on with the Harrier. You're dealing with Bitchin' Betty constantly, which isn't overtly a bad thing being hands-on with it, but it can be a lot to manage when you're being tracked by a SAM or you're dealing with enemy air on your ass. Even despite everything I've said, it's still a blast to fly and learn. It's been so rewarding and I enjoy flying it to this very day. Now, a lot of my videos on this channel have featured the Harrier in it, and more recently, it seems like every time I post a video with the Harrier in it, I keep getting asked the same question. Is the Harrier worth buying with the current ED RASBAM situation? So today I'm gonna share my unbiased opinion, and let me emphasize this again, my opinion on whether or not you should pick up the Harrier module. Look, I'm not gonna rehash the situation with ED and RASBAM because if you're in the DCS community already, you already know what it's all about and what's happening or lack thereof. Unfortunately, the Harrier is one of those aircraft modules that RASBAM's developed for DCS. And unlike the Strike Eagle, which was their most recent module, and so highly anticipated by the way, the Harrier has been around for a while now. It's had a lot of development time, unlike the Strike Eagle for comparison. And in the current version of DCS here in February of 2025, the Harrier is fully functional. To my knowledge, the major systems of the aircraft worked. I've not noticed anything game-breaking with the Harrier. It flies like how it always has for me. The weapon systems operate the way they have been. The DMT, the FLIR, the EWR system seem to be in good working order. Again, nothing has been blatantly, obviously broken to me. The T-Pod works fine, although there seems to be something up with the display being very dark when you first enable the T-Pod. So I've noticed I've always had to crank up that gain to get the picture looking somewhat decent. I'm not sure if this is a bug or if that's how it's supposed to operate, but I don't recall it doing this back in the day. Deploying weapon systems seems to be the same as it's always been as well. And aside from that, everything else really seems to be okay. Now, there may very well be some minor bugs, but I'm not aware of them at this point, or at least they're not significant enough for me to, have caught my attention. But that leads me to my next point, which is that at any point going forward, a DCS update could break the Harrier. This is why the answer to the question of this video, which I will share with you here shortly, gets complicated. While I believe the Harrier is good to go to fly right now, there's a real chance that can change at any point going forward. Without ED or RASBAM sharing any insight into these RASBAM modules, maintenance, and updates, we are all taking a risk. Now, for those of us that own it already and made that investment, we deserve to have support for our modules regardless of the behind-the-scenes beef between these two companies. But let's focus on you, the DCS virtual pilot that has had your eye on the Harrier, wants to add it to your collection, wants to experience the uniqueness of the Harrier, wants to try a VTOL landing on the Tarawa. Should you buy the Harrier right now? Well, my answer, regretfully, no. As much as I would love to tell everyone to get the Harrier, I don't want to do that and then tomorrow or a month or a year from now, the Harrier breaks after a new DCS update. If ED or RASBAM came out and said, hey, we won't add any new features, but we'll at least address bugs and game-breaking issues with the module, then yeah, 100% I'd say get it. We'd have that reassurance. But that isn't where we're at right now. Even though I think the Harrier is fleshed out very well with its long development time and feature set, I'm worried that at any moment the module will become obsolete. On the flip side of this, if you're not pressed for money or worried if it'll work a month or a year from now, then sure, buy it. Learn to fly the shit out of the Harrier because it's a lot of fun and very, very unique. However, my guess is that most of you watching this want to make smart investments and likely wouldn't want to risk your hard-earned money on a module that might not work down the road. So that's my personal thoughts and opinions on the Harrier, and if you should buy it in 2025 with the ongoing RASBAM ED situation at hand. It really is an excellent module that is caught in the middle of a shit show between two development companies, which we are all paying the price for, literally and figuratively. Let me know what you guys think down below on this. Callsign Grimey out.